Hi, it's Anne from the Useless Crafter. So I had a request today to do one of those unicorns that we see everywhere, but make it off the mat. So it's a little bit different because it doesn't have the background that we're used to when we're doing off the mat. So let me show you how to do that. I am going to use my Access membership. So I'm going to go into Images and type in unicorn. That's a tip that I did learn recently is don't use plural. So if you typed in unicorns, for instance, you would have only gotten these three. So make sure that when you're searching for something, search for the singular item, unicorn, and you will have a lot more to search through. I couldn't find the exact same that she had wanted, but I think this is close enough and will give you an idea of how I would go about this project. So the first thing I look at when I do off the mat is what is my biggest, largest item in the picture? And in this case, I'm going to say it's this middle flower. So as long as I make this middle flower seamless, which I'm going to make it 11.5 inches, everything else will be seamless because everything else is smaller. The only thing that, sorry, the only thing that might be an issue will be this ear. But the ear is so thin that I think if we sliced it right here and then you press it up against each other, if you use glitter cardstock, you won't even notice that seam. What you'll see are the big flowers, all that. And so I think it'll be really nice. You might be wondering why this horn is not the biggest thing, but if you look, the horn is cut up into individual pieces. So this big piece right here, this middle one, if I make this flower 11.5 inches, there's no way that little piece of the horn is going to be bigger than 11.5 inches. So that makes sense. I'm talking about individual pieces that are not, I'm not talking about, the whole image together, just individual cut pieces. Sorry, I'm not explaining that very well. Okay, so let's make this super big and see where it gets us. So it looks like it's wider than it is long. So let's go over here under the height and type in, let's just do 30 inches and see where that gets us. And I apologize. This cold is getting worse, not better. But I wanted to make sure this person was able to do this project this weekend. So, okay, I'm going to, over here, just make it smaller so we're not scrolling like crazy back and forth. So here's our image. It's 30 inches. Oh, I did the height. It's 30 inches long and 27 inches this way. Let's just ungroup it and see what we have. I want to see how big this middle flower is. Now, the middle flower is attached to this other flower. So this is not an accurate measurement. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So right now, this whole thing says it's 12 by 21, but it has all this empty space as well as this flower. So let's bring this back over here. And as long as it's in there, it's fine. Okay. Let's duplicate it. And we're going to use contour, okay? Because I want to separate these pieces. I want to know exactly how big this petal is or this flower. So go to contour, and we're going to get rid of this flower up here. So what I have left, oops, contour, so this little dot right up here. So what I have left is just the big flower, okay? And over here, let's contour that and the big flower. And we can just select on it, select on this. We're basically deselecting it from the image. So see, now all we have left is this little flower. So this is too big by just a little bit. So you see it's 11.58, which, and then it's 12.04 this way. So let's grab the entire image, or you could also, you can select all up here to make sure you've grabbed everything. And we want to grab everything because we're making it smaller. We want everything to shrink proportionately. So at 30 inches, it's too big. Let's just do this at 29 inches. I think at 29, it'll be fine. but we double check. Of course we would. Okay, so now, oh, it's still a little bit too big, 11.643. So let's select all and make this 28 inches. Okay, so now this flower is 10.8 by 11.241. Perfect. And you want to separate everything. So for instance, now that we have all our images, like the sizing is set, we want to ungroup all these things. And the reason why you want to ungroup it is so that if you decide to make this one pink, this one yellow, this one green, you can. So you can either contour. So however many pieces you want separate, you need that many copies of the image. So in this case, we would need 3 copies of the flowers. I'm sorry, I'm not functioning well this morning. Or you can grab and we can slice. So grab a square, make it really big. Okay, and we can slice out this thing. So we can slice out 1 flower at a time. And if you remember from slicing, you can only slice 2 items at one time. It's going to be our big square and our image. Okay, so here we go. Grab those 2 items and slice. Okay, so you can get rid of the slice results. You can put this back just so that you have a visual of how you want to piece this together color-wise, okay? All right, so let's grab this guy and let's finish slicing this. Oops, what just happened? There. Okay, and see how this is in the way? It's okay, because if I do my cursor where I'm grabbing just my square and my image is behind that square, you see I can still slice even though everything's in the way, as long as your cursor doesn't pick it up. Okay. Okay, and this little guy, I don't even remember where this little guy was. Oh, up here somewhere. Okay, and then now that means this third one is available to go wherever you want it to go. So this is all good. Let's look at these ears. Oh, this is the unicorn petal, the unicorn horn. Okay, sorry. All right, this is 1, 2, 3. Well, you know what? The horn can stay together because it's pretty efficient. Let's just break out the ears from the horn. Okay, so we can use the same square. Okay, and see how my ear is completely hidden in the back now? I'm going to do this, and that's enough to grab the image and my square. And I'm going to slice. And let's see if this ear works. I don't know how big this ear is. I think it might be close. Oh, it's fine. So let's get rid of our slice results. Okay, so here's our ear. And our ear is 8.7 by 10.5. Perfect. Let's separate this ear from this horn. All right. Grab the 2 items and slice. And let's see how high our horn is. I was just thinking it might be too long. It is too long. So we'll separate that out in a second. Let's get rid of the slice results. We have this ear. This ear is 9.6 by 9.8, so perfect. We'll deal with the horn in a second. Okay, so let's do our pink is good. Our blue is good. So the only thing we have left are the eyelashes and the inside of the ear. So let's see, where is the inside of the ear? If you go to your, oh, there it is. Here are the ears. Move it over. So then get they're isolated. Okay, so now let's get under. Okay, I'm going to slice the ears and my square. Okay, there we go. So here's one ear. It's 6.9 by 5.8. So wonderful. And it's, that's just for us right there. It doesn't need to be perfect because it's already going to cut out perfectly. This is just, I'm putting it back so that you can determine your colors. Okay. All right. So now, oh, we have the eyelashes. Let's do that. There. So I'm using the same square. If you make your square big enough, you can keep reusing it for slicing. I highly recommend using glitter. I mean, especially I use glitter for everything, but it's a unicorn, so it looks so pretty and sparkly. I do like using Cricut glitter cardstock because it doesn't shed as much, and so your blade, your mats, everything is so much nicer. Okay, I think we can finally get rid of this square. We're done slicing. We have all our colors. The only thing that we have left is this. This is too long. It's 4.1 by 16.487. I think the easiest thing to do is to contour, separate this into two pieces. So since I want it to two pieces, I'm going to duplicate it so I have two sets. One set of the horn. Okay, let's go to contour. And we're just deselecting, okay? So I'm going to deselect the first three. And I think that should be fine. So yes, now this is 4.1 by 10.3. So on this image, we're going to contour and we're going to opposite. We're going to keep the top three, but deselect the four. So now you have 1.9 by 7 basically. And this is now all cuttable on the Cricut. So I hope that was helpful. I think the image that she wanted had some stars over here. You can add those stars in. The only thing now is, let's say you don't like these colors, you want all three of these to be the same color, then you can just select, you can do it two ways. You can select on each item and go up here in the toolbar and change the colors, or you can go to color sync over here on the right and you can move things into that color. So for instance, if you wanted all these flowers to be pink, you just move them. All right, now let's go to make it just so that you can see what it looks like. And I know that the programming for Cricut, they do try to make it efficient, but it's not the most efficient. And also if you're using scraps, I use a lot of glitter cardstock, so I have scraps in every size. So if for some reason you have a scrap that looks like this, you can make it like that. Or you can, if you're using a brand new sheet of paper, you might want it to be super close together. You can do that. These two ears should be on one page. You can either go on this one, select the item, hit the three dots, and move to another mat. And we're going to move it to that pink mat. And you can see the mat that we're on is grayed out, essentially, because we're not going to move it to the mat that it's already on. So let's select this one. And you can move these things, however it works for you. So we could do something like this and something like, it just depends on what your scraps look like. You could have something like this, or something like, I don't know what I'm doing anymore. Something like that. Okay. This could also be, look at that horn, it's big. You could also change this and pretend it's a 12 by 24 mat, but move everything to 12 by 12. And then, oops, that didn't work out very well. Okay, let's go over here, select this guy, move to another mat. And we could do something like, it's moving, sorry. Okay, here we go. See, so this is a 12 by 12. So even though we said it's a 12 by 24 mat, you can just use a 12 by 12 piece of cardstock, put it down on your mat on a 12 by 12 mat, and send it in. Your machine is only going to cut this part, so that's totally fine. So you are going to need two sheets of gold cardstock or whatever you decide to do here. And then let's look at our pinks. Sorry. All right, what do we have here? I would move this one to the first mat. I'm going to try to consolidate this onto two mats. And can this be moved over? Okay. So I feel like we can fit another flower down here. I do so many of these projects, so I try to save cardstock where I can, and darn it, will this fit up here? I try to save cardstock where I can. I think I'm going to be stuck. Darn it. Gotta move it back to the old mat. And so I don't know if this is going to fit over here either. We will try. Okay, so let me go over here because we have nothing but time. Move to another mat. And let's see if we can do it. I don't have a good feeling about this, but maybe. Oh, it worked. Okay, so let me move my face out of the way. You got all three flowers over here. So what you have is one black cardstock, one sheet of black cardstock, one sheet of the pink ears, two for the gold, and two for the flowers. I hope that was helpful. Please, if you have any projects that you need help and you want to see a tutorial, I think other people will want to see it too. So send a request to me, whether it's on Instagram, Facebook, or on YouTube, which I will say I'm best on Instagram and YouTube, not Facebook. I will try to do it for you. Okay. So, all right. Thank you. Tag me. I want to see your projects, and then shoot me any questions. All right. Bye.